All right, so let's get to our closing keynote. And one of the, I've talked about this before, but along the way, I get to meet really, really incredible people doing really fun and interesting things. I got to have breakfast with James Poulter from Lego a couple months ago in New York City. He actually comes from London. Lego is a European-based company, and he works at their London offices. And he is the head of innovation and partnerships and emerging technologies for Lego. What a fun job, right? Come on. What toy have we all played with since we were, knee-high to a tadpole, but Legos? And, now my kids just love them, absolutely love them. So what an iconic company, what an iconic brand, and what a special occasion for us to have James Poulter from Lego. James, come on up. Oh, cue video.
Lego brick, 60 years. Take one. And action! Who are more creative, kids or adults? Kids, of course. Kids imagine stuff and adults keep working. They like it when the house is tidy. They need to learn what exactly playing is. They need more imagination. Yes. Because they think silly is bad. I just tell them to chillax. When you make up games and you play, you feel happy. Because it is a shoot. No one can survive without play. Because it's fun making stuff, and you can make funny stuff. Fun is basically happiness, and happiness is smiling and laughing. I'm going to draw some imagination. It helps your brain learn more. And then the brain's on the treadmill, exercising. That is my brain. Rainbow, clouds and the sun and all the sky. I've drawn a mermaid inside her brain. It's okay to be silly. Oh my God. When the growers grow up, kind of 20 or 21. When they're past teenager age. When do you think grown-ups grow up? Never.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Pete said, I'm James Poulter from Lego. I head up what we call emerging platforms and partnerships there, and as is probably evident to all of you, I am British. Sorry. Nice to see you all. Thanks so much. How great has this been so far? Can we just give it up for Pete, who has done the most amazing job of pulling these people together? What a fantastic thing. For those of you who want to connect, you can scan a QR code from a distance, and that'll get you to Instagram. I'm trying to add about a couple of hundred followers in this situation, so let's just see how that goes. There'll be prizes. So yeah, I look after what we call emerging platforms. What does that mean? I wish I knew, and I'd like some of you to tell me later. But as I try and work it out, a lot of it has been so far in this area of voice. And so it's an absolute pleasure to be at this conference, because I think that the people that are in this room will probably be the ones that we look back on in 5 to 10 years' time and say, well, the pioneers of what was going to happen in this space are probably in this room today. So it's a real pleasure to be amongst you. And I don't necessarily count myself in that bracket, but for the rest of you, I'm excited. I'm going to talk to you this afternoon as we close out today, before all of you want to go and find the thing that really unlocks empathy, which is a drink. We're talking about this idea of artificial empathy, building playful experiences in the voice space. And what does it mean for building things for kids? But rather than starting with kids, I want to start at the other end of the spectrum. This is Reg. He is a legend of the BBC. He's also my grandfather, which helps. Reg is 89, currently in hospital with Alzheimer's. He originally was the cameraman on Only Fools and Horses, Porridge, Doctor Who in the first 3 to 4 seasons, and a number of other shows on the BBC, all in the comedy space. And he's probably the result of many years of work in that area that got me interested in this whole idea of radio and television and empathy, and what we've now ended up with more interactive experiences. And the reason I bring Reg up is that other than working on amazing things like Only Fools and Horses, which for those of us, how many Americans have actually seen Only Fools and Horses? There's a few things here, right? Okay. Doctor Who, we know who Doctor Who is. Good read. I recommend a quick education. Fawlty Towers? Okay, Reg. So the idea here is that he introduced me to something very early on, which is this idea that you could do amazing things with visual and originally in voice, in radio comedy. I got started out by working in radio, had a podcast production company 10 years ago, which was too early. So for friends from Gimlet in the room somewhere, yeah, I'm catching up with you. It's an exciting area to be in, but the thing that it taught me most of all is that you can do really simple things with just voices. That you can make comedy happen. You can make play happen. You can do empathy. Because empathy is the dust that sits amongst all of these experiences, but a lot of it is artificial. I spend an awful lot of time trying to do these types of things, come and talk to people, try and explain to us what technology is, and I often have to be like, well, who am I? So here's a few things that I found on my desk. We don't actually have desks in London at LEGO because we operate a very kind of new ways of working operation. We don't have fixed locations. We're digital nomads a little bit in the London office. So these are the things that are often hanging around in my bag. And so I've got some sneaker wipes in there, keep the kicks clean, important. Podcasting microphone, been doing a lot of that today with a number of you, which has been good. Yo-yos, there's a couple of pictures of my kids. That's Hazel, the 3-year-old. There's a 3-month-old as well. I tell you these things because that's my personal story. And building these experiences is all about doing something uniquely personal. In the past couple of years, we've kind of bucked the trend of what, Orwell thought was going to happen. This idea of 1984 and that Big Brother was going to be watching us from the government, that just went out the window. We went and bought a bunch of Big Brothers and put them in the living room. And that's where we're living today. We've brought these things into our experiences. And we talk an awful lot about this idea of the Internet of Things. Anyone in favor of that term? The Internet of Things? Okay, good. Well, my daughter, Hazel, the 3-year-old, to her, there's not ever going to be such a thing as the Internet of Things. There are just things. The Internet is a completely nascent concept to her. She expects the Internet, as much as she can ever understand what that means, to be like breathing, like air. You turn the tap on and it's there. There's no expectation. There's no pinwheel of death. Yeah? There's no waiting around for buffering. These things just don't exist in her mind. She talks to something and it responds. That's her expectation in the future. So as we build experiences for these people, that's what we need to be thinking about. That's their expectation. And so we talk an awful lot about artificial intelligence, which is important. But I'd be maybe thinking a little bit more about AE than AI. Artificial empathy is something that we're all thinking about. Because empathy is the thing that unlocks play. If you can empathize with one another, well, then that's where you actually begin to come closer as human relationships. But these things don't have empathy built in. We've had to build them on top. So we've seen Amazon has now brought in things like being able to say please for kids. Google released Pretty Please mode for Assistant a couple of weeks ago. And it's no wonder that things like Google Duplex, the idea of being able to be phoned up and book a hair appointment and not knowing whether or not it's a robot on the other end, creates such a visceral reaction in all of us because we're like, well, I thought this was supposed to be clear when it was a robot, not a human. We feel not duplexed, but duped when that happens. We have to build in empathy into these tools and systems because we don't want just AI. We want empathetic experiences. We want experiences that create relationship. But there's a problem. The problem is that any artificial empathy, well, it's an oxymoron. As soon as you know that the empathy is artificial, it's no longer empathetic. It disappears. It just becomes false. So how do we go beyond that in this day? We don't necessarily have all the tools at our hands. But the kids in the video at the start said something which we believe is fundamentally important and what I want you all to be thinking about as you build experiences, not just for kids, but for everyone. This idea that no one can survive without play. Play is the ultimate unlocker for connecting us as human beings. We see it from the very earliest of ages with kids. But we forget about it as we grow up. We become silly becomes a problem. You heard the girl in the video say, yeah, we all just got to be happy with being silly. What is play? Let's have a little look at that. Well, it's hard to define, but it's quite easy to tell you what play is not. How many of you have been on a corporate away day within the kind of past 6 months or so? Yeah? Can a couple of people just shout out what they did on their corporate away day? There was some kind of activity, I expect. Team building, what was that? Axe throwing? Raft building? Ceramics. Right. These are all examples, my friends, of something that we call forced fun. Now, another oxymoron. Forced fun is the curse of the modern enterprise. Why do we inflict these things upon ourselves? Why do we do it to one another? You know, you've all heard them, right? Those examples. Abseiling with Malcolm from accounting. You know, mocktail making with George from, kind of finance. We've all had to go through it. And we inflict it upon one another ourselves because it does one very fundamental thing. It breaks down barriers. Play, ceramics making, artistic creativity, axe throwing, competitive creativity can go awry if you're not looking in the right direction. Canoe building, strategic creativity, play, all forms of play that we put into these days when we go out with colleagues to create one thing, something else to talk about at the bar other than work. And that's why we do it. Play should not be this. It's no fun. Trust falls is not fun, but we do it because it tries to create something. So what is play? Well, play is the idea of dragging the imaginary into reality. Dragging the imaginary into reality, making the thing that is just that little figment of an idea, that little picture, that little snippet of something that could be interesting, and pulling it out of our brains into the physical. Building from the building blocks up, Lego or otherwise. And I think no better example of what this might look like is this video, which I just want to share with you. It's a little picture from one of the best creators, one of the most playful people I've ever come across, Mr. David Bowie. Now, I don't know if this is going to play, so someone at the back should be on point to click this if it doesn't work, but let's give it a go. No, it didn't. Let's go back. That's me. We'll come back. Someone just play that button for me at the back.
This is the way I do cut-ups. I don't know if it's like the way Brian Geisen does his or Barrows does his. I don't know. But this is the way I do. I've used this method only on a couple of actual songs. What I've used it for more than anything else is igniting anything that might be in my imagination. And you can often come up with very interesting attitudes to look into. I tried doing it with diaries and things, and I was finding out amazing things about me and what I'd done and where I was going. And a lot of the things that I'd done, it seemed that it would predict things about the future or tell me a lot about the past. It's really quite an astonishing thing. I suppose it's a very Western tarot. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what happens. I'm an alligator.
Mr. Bowie, everybody, R.I.P. The example there of just pulling out something so simple as the building blocks, these little words of text pulled into reality. And we're reinventing what it means to do exactly this, to work with these little strings that can create imaginative experiences and bring them into the lives of kids and families. So I mentioned Hazel. She's my 3-year-old. The next video is just a little example of us building something that I want to share with you a little bit about one of the projects we've done recently. And this is us doing some prototyping. Now, it's very important to note during this clip that I don't live with a Christmas tree at all times of the year. This was recorded during the month of December. And this is us just testing out a prototype of something, and you'll hear Hazel respond.
Animal story. Okay. Great. The animal stories are some of my favourites. We have stories about a bird, a rabbit, a cow, a dog, or a cat. Which animal story would you like?
A dog.
Oh, we haven't got the dog. Should we do the bird?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the bird.
Okay, that ended earlier than I expected. You can see that very quickly she just responds, right? To her, there's no one controlling Alexa other than it's a conversation with a friend in the corner. We were recently down at my parents' place on the south coast, and they had an Apple TV under the table there, and we walked into the living room. It's the first time we had been in there. It's a new place that they're living in, and Hazel runs up to the television, and she goes, "Alexa, turn on the TV!" Silence. Sad. But that's her expectation, right? That the little black boxes that are lived in the corner of the rooms have people in them. That's just the way it goes. You know, we've anthropomorphized these ladies predominantly, which is a problem, and we should talk about that, guys. But we've anthropomorphized these ladies and put them in small boxes in the corner of the room for kids to talk to. And that's what they do, because they expect it to. Why wouldn't they? It's the most natural interface for them to do it with. What do we all learn to do first? Before we tap, type, or swipe, we learn to talk. Kids know, love, and are using smart speakers and voice technology. More than 40% of them are using them weekly. And if you talk from looking at the NPR results from Edison that just came out just last week, smart speaker owners that are thinking about buying another one, 40% of them say the reason they're going to buy another one is because they want their kids to interact with it more. They see it as alternative to screen time, and they see it as a new way of interacting with their kids, teaching them new things, diving into new topic areas, learning, and most crucially, playing. And so we see this as a really massive opportunity across the board, not just for us at LEGO, but for all of us to create new experiences. So one of the first things that we've done this year, as long as also launching a couple of chatbots and a flash briefing, is we launched something earlier in April called LEGO Duplo Stories, or Duplo Stories as we say it in Europe. It's our bigger bricks for smaller kids, and it's an experience for parents and children to interact together as they build alongside the audio from Alexa. So I just want to share this with you. It's a little bit about LEGO Duplo Stories.
I can play now, Mom.
Alexa, open LEGO Duplo Stories.
Hello, and welcome to LEGO Duplo Stories. Would you like to hear a story about vehicles or a story about animals?
Animals.
What color is your bird?
Yellow.
Oh, what a nice color. The bird needs somewhere to live. Let's build a house for it. Great, well done. The little bird is excited. I love my new house. Now I wonder what I should do today. I know, I can go on an adventure. Would you like to hear another LEGO Duplo story?
So LEGO Duplo Stories is the first interactive Alexa skill that is a companion with a physical play product, which is obviously the Duplo bricks. It doesn't require any new bricks, and we're not trying to sell new products. What we really wanted to do was give kids and parents the opportunity to play together, to start playing more frequently, to increase immersion with the product. And we've seen some great results so far, and we're going to continue to build this out. Some of the learnings that I wanted to share with you, because I think it's always helpful, is that we know that this is not perfect, and we've learned an awful lot. Three of the main things. First is around interaction versus consumption. Many of us want to build these highly immersive, interactive opportunities. The reality is that actually they're quite hard, and we're still learning. Users are still learning how to adopt these technologies, learning what's possible, learning how complex something should be. And the more complex it gets, trust me, there are more points at which it's going to fail. So one of the things I would encourage all of you is think about how interactive does your thing need to be, and bring it to the minimum level that it needs to be. Because actually, consumption in this market is probably far more important to begin with, as we begin to create a whole new lexicon of what it means to talk to these things. Just 2 years ago, walking into the middle of your living room and just shouting, "Okay, Google," seemed a pretty odd thing to do. I mean, you would probably have been looked at slightly sideways by your partner. Now it's just one of those things that we do. But all of these different ways of interacting with these products take time to learn, and consumers are on that journey just as much as we are. If you think that you're going after the 10% of the consumer base, you guys in this room are the bleeding edge of the 1% because you're making these things. It's going to be a while before it beds in. The second thing is this idea of the disappearing app, that once you create it and it goes away, these voice experiences disappear into the ether. They are just gone once they've finished. There's no hamburger in the top right-hand corner giving you menu options. There's no back button on Alexa. These things all just exist and then they're gone. So unless you have a physical prompt, something like an instruction booklet or a box, a user manual, we've had a couple of examples of the past day or so, these are the things that help people re-engage with these products, and just sheer marketing effort, just reminding people over and over again what you actually have in this skill. And the third thing is kind of related to that, is that the utterance is king. Lego Duplo stories. Alexa, ask people to open Lego Duplo stories over and over again, because unless you can bed in the utterance, it's really difficult. And unless you are very simple and know what to do with these products, Domino's, Uber, for example, just asking Alexa to get an Uber, very straightforward. Domino's, I'm hungry, very straightforward. Why is it pizza that is always the innovation of all products? Have we not got enough ways to get a pizza by this point? Anyway, that is what we're after. And the last rule of all of it is that, yes, we're all about innovation, and that's absolutely important, but we don't just want innovation. What we actually want is iteration, over and over and over again. If you're not paying attention to all of the points that people are trying to use your skill, then you are going to find that a lot of those people are just disappearing as well. So iteration is key, looking at what's working, because we are still so early. We're not even at the beginning of this process. We're far from the end of it. We need to be thinking about iteration over and over again. And sometimes it's just a simple matter of branding. Choosing the right thing can change people's perceptions about how these things work in the home. How many of you have had smashed avocado on toast recently? Yeah? A few of you Brooklynites that have come in from the city? Yeah, good. 10 years ago, if someone offered you smashed avocado on toast, you would have sent it back. Just saying, okay? It's just wrong. Avocado is wrong on a number of levels, and we can get into that at another point. But I'm just saying that it's all a matter of branding. It's all a matter of just twisting these things. That if we can shift people's perceptions that it's now okay to talk to our homes, to talk to these devices, what else can we shift their perception to do? What else could we do with these devices? And I know that there's a few people in this room that have probably got the next thing. And so it seems only appropriate in the last 5 minutes or so that I have with you guys that we do what we've been talking about, which is play, do something with empathy, and start something new. Does that sound okay? This will require some audience participation. Nervous laughter goes around the crowd. Okay, we got a bunch of students in the house, right? Where are they? Yell. You're the poor. Who needs 20 bucks? Okay. Who needs 20 bucks? Okay. Who really needs 20 bucks? Dude in the red tie, come down and get 20 bucks. As he comes, just remember this feeling. Keep applauding him, he's got a long way to come. Yeah? Who needs 20 bucks? Students are poor, they need 20 bucks, right? Okay. This is the dude that needs 20 bucks. What's your name, brother? Jeremy? Yep. Jeremy, there's 20 bucks. No questions asked. Enjoy. Go have a nice evening. Now, don't spend it all in the bar crawl. Now, that felt good, right? Why did that feel good? Because he came all the way from the back there and came up close. Hands and feet. People. Empathy. Play. I gave him 20 bucks. Who's got 20 bucks? Who's got 20 bucks? Open your wallets. No, this is real. Who's got 20 bucks? Hold it in the air. We're now going to do speed crowdfunding. Hold 20 bucks in the air, everybody. Okay, hold it up real high. Okay, some conditions for speed crowdfunding. This money is not coming back to you. Those of you that are sitting on your wallets right now and know that there's 20 bucks burning in the back of your pocket, trust me, you'll feel a lot better if you pull it out and pull it in the air now. Okay? Up, 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 up. Keep going. That's it, 20 bucks. Okay. Good. Right, okay. Here's what's going to happen. The first 3 people to get onto this stage with an idea that they want to pitch, that they've been struggling to get off the ground, but they know that they really could do with some money, first 3 people up on the stage, go. Keep that money held high. There's 1. Who's the next 2? There's 1. Dude in the yellow shorts is coming. You gotta get here quick, man, otherwise it's not happening. He's gonna outrun you, brother. 3, okay, good. Right, people with the $20, hold it in the air. This is all of you now, okay? MoDev people, there are MoDev people now coming to take your money. This is real, by the way, so this money is not coming back to you, so there's no questions asked. MoDev money, come pick it up. Let's go, go, go. Everyone at the back who's upstairs, we're going to do this as well. If you've got money, you've got to hold it up. If you want to put more up, then you can do. You'll just be a good citizen. It'll come back to you in another life. Let's go. Okay? Go, 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 go. Right, while they're collecting the money, we're going to hear these 3 stories, and then we're going to pick one of these people to give this money to. Okay. We're going to start with you guys together. Yeah. Okay, what's your names?
My name is Vivek.
Vivek?
I'm Alan.
Vivek and Alan. Vivek and Alan, what is your idea? You have 20 seconds.
So our idea is basically to 3D print low-cost hand prosthetics. We've been developing this for the past few weeks and months now, and basically we're using this new method of CAD development in order to print them at lower costs that are about a fraction of the original cost that they are right now.
Okay, that was longer than 20 seconds, but that was good. Cool. Okay, you want to go? What's your name?
Hi, I'm MJ Salvato. I am the first startup in New Jersey to do a crowdfunding campaign.
Okay. What's the crowdfunding?
Webflutter, I've developed a video messaging platform. I take a selfie and put it on an animated avatar in a branded background. Cool. And it creates a video message with voice.
Okay, video message with voice. Okay, what's your name?
Claire. So, hello. I'm Claire. I'm a recent graduate from Brandeis University. I created a application. If you're interested, you can Google it at Better Doctor Doc Finder. And so what Doc Finder is it's a
10 seconds. Go.
It's an application where you can search for your doctors based off of what kind, your insurance company, languages, all through voice queries, and it returns that to you.
Okay, cool. Okay, you heard it here, prosthetics, video app, Doc Finder. Let's hear it for video, for prosthetics. It's gonna be tough, guys. Video. Let's hear it for video. Sorry. Doc Finder. Okay, good. Pete, how much money we got? All right. We got... Drum roll, please. There are tables to bash on. How much money do we have, Pete?
$480.
Okay, we have $480. Prosthetics. Video. Doc Finder. How much in total?
480.
480? Yep. Oh, all together? Okay. You guys just gave $480 to help these guys get prosthetics for people. There you go.
Thank you so much.
No questions asked. That felt good, right? Well done to these guys as well, because they came up here and they had the courage. Go find out about their projects. They're going to find you afterwards. They'll be just over there on the side if you need to. And we're going to take a selfie because they want a selfie.
Oh, that's a video.
It's a video. They don't know how to use technology. I don't know if this was the right choice, everyone. Okay, there you go. Well done, guys. Good. $480, you just gave $500 to some people to help do this. Okay. Now then, how many of you feel bad that you didn't get the $20 that's in your pocket out now? Yeah, a few of you. I know who you are. You know where they are now. You know what they look like. Go for them. Okay, I'm using 2 microphones. This is unnecessary. Okay, I'm way out of time. Empathy. That was just a human experience that we just created. The most human, right? Because this me to you guys from a stage feels nice. It's better than me being on a Skype call talking to you. But getting 2 people up here and giving them money right there and making them feel like this is the next thing that they're going to go and do and giving them hope to do something, that's something else. That's what human experience is. Now, we can do some of this. You've seen examples in the past couple of days. You're going to see some more tomorrow as we go into the rest of the conference where it's human experience being lived out. Medical, elderly care, young care, kids, play, all of these things are important. But it's up to you guys now. Go and create something awesome, and I hope that when you do it, you'll build something cool. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.